course, right when the Jeeps come out, no top, it starts raining.
Guys, I can't believe today is finally the day.
We've been wanting to do this forever, honestly.
This is a big project we haven't been able to tell you guys about, but we can finally show you what we've been working on.
Oh, dude, it's right there. Oh my God. It's so sick in person. We teamed up with Ultimate Powersports to give this 2024 TTR110 to one of you guys.
I've never met anyone that hasn't dreamed about a pit bike at least once in their life.
Dude, I'm so pumped about this. So pumped about this. Oh.
Wow, electric start.
Are you kidding me?
I mean, I shouldn't be that, it's 2024, but... Me and Alex actually worked for these guys before we started full-time YouTubing.
These guys sell pretty much everything. They got sleds, dirt bikes, razors, side-by-sides, lawnmowers.
You can flip them by a chainsaw if you want to
everything.
over here.
And one day, we will be able to come buy a couple sleds from these guys when we can afford it.
Wait, just for the viewer, are you gonna do a Polaris or a Skidoo?
I might do a snow bike. I think that's...
What? I've had it.
It's real now.
There's no going back.
We also got a bunch of parts for this thing to pimp it out and make it sick. I'm sorry guys, if he wrecks it, we'll try to fix it.
Hey, if you ruined that already, you don't have the money to fix it, so...
Right, I'll be done.
Yeah, you should...
I'll be done. No. Oh. I feel like going down is going to be way worse than coming up. Yeah, if that tailgate goes, that's a problem. Is it sag? Oh, it's bent.
What?
I've had.
Oh, yeah.
That sounds so good.
So much better.
Big difference. We wanted to give a huge thank you to Ultimate Powersports for hooking this up, helping us bring this bike to you guys. So if you need anything Powersports related, make sure to hit them up. Their link is in our description.
We decided to give away a pit bike because we figured that everybody watching could have fun on something like this. And we're super pumped about it because everybody that's watching and supporting us right now has a chance to win a freaking sick pit bike. And we're also gonna give you $1,000 cash. To get entered for this puppy, go to our website, pegbrothers.offroad.com. Every $5 you spend gets you one entry to win this puppy. Alright, so if you watched last week's video, you saw that we took the Jeeps out on our new gooseneck. Well, on the way home in the pitch black, we started hearing some terrible noises out of our new work truck. So me and Alex hopped in the bed to see if we could figure out where the noise was coming from. It sounded like it was the rear end. All we know is it did not sound good. That ain't good.
That's bad. I hope we make it home.
So we dumped the Jeeps off the gooseneck and had to have Dad bring us Brady's truck to recover the gooseneck and the truck because we didn't want to drive on that rear end because it honestly sounded like it was seconds away from locking up. And this is really terrible news because we're Ford guys and we roast every other company and then this happens. So we still don't know what it is that's making the noise in the rear end. So we got to get this truck off the trailer onto the car lift and start tearing crap apart and see what happened.
When we got this truck, the pinion seal did have a pretty good leak in it. Alex and Caleb told me we are not worried about it. Hook that thing on and let's go. It's always been in the back of my mind. I went and bought a new pinion seal to put in. I just didn't have time to put it in. So I feel like it's my fault, kinda. The problem with a bad pinion seal is it literally is there to hold all the fluid in your axle. And right now the fluid's out completely outside the axle. We literally ran, how much weight? 30,000 pounds or something on that rear end with no fluid.
I don't know if we should disclose legally how heavy that load was.
Okay, the 4,000 pounds we were hauling
Yeah,
behind
4,000's good.
was definitely, I guess, just a little more than what that could handle with no fluid. So that could definitely be what's going on here.
I'm just hoping it's not the transfer case. I have no idea between the axle or the transfer case. Both could be making that noise. I'm hoping it's just one, but you seem pretty confident it's the axle, so it's probably the transfer case.
Look at the drive line. I don't know if you can see that. Drive line is hopping.
Dude, that's saying something. If you can hear it with no load on it going this slow.
The good news is there's no noise that I can hear coming from the transfer case, so yeah, it seems fine. The transfer case could have been the problem, making that kind of noise. It's kind of hard to know when you're driving down the road, but it's definitely in the rear end.
Well, I'm curious to see what that fluid looks like.
I'm curious to see if there's any fluid to see.
That means the pinion bearing is probably toast.
I feel like that's factory.
That's within spec on a Dodge.
Yeah, I'm normally all about the jokes, but we really can't be playing around anymore.
Hey, I'd be careful what you say about Dodge, because if somebody rolled up in a real nice one, never mind.
I was thinking the same thing.
You know the first bad sign? There's no tag on this diff cover.
I know, the front doesn't have one either.
That means somebody's been in here.
Brade's doing it with the body hammer and the only good screwdriver we have.
Oh, hey, we got
Hey, there's some fluid.
Ooh, that doesn't smell good at all.
Well, gear oil never smells good.
I wouldn't say that's a...
Hey, there's more than I thought.
There is some, yeah.
Oh, what is this?
Dude, my L3...
Oh my gosh, that's the pinion hitting that.
You guys remember my 7.3 with 480,000 on it? Had that.
Really?
And that I replaced my rear end because it had that. Oh my gosh. So on your pinion gear that hooks to the drive line, it's got two bearings, one on the top, one on the bottom, and it's hard for that far one to get oil. So sometimes it gets starved when the fluid's low, because obviously it was low because our pinion seal let our fluid all out. So that got starved for fluid, which means it got really hot, destroyed it, and now it's got a ton of play, which made it move back and forth, which made it grind into the ring gear or the carrier. So essentially we either need to put a whole new gear set in here because the pinion's probably shot, or a whole new rear axle.
There are people that are literally purple right now, ready to start typing that you called that a drive shaft or a drive line and not a drive shaft.
Oh yeah, what? You're an idiot.
Are you kidding me?
Apologize now.
I just don't feel bad. It wouldn't be sincere.
Okay,
Continue.
we have a couple options. A new rear end, well, a new used rear end out of a junkyard for this truck is about $1,000 to $1,100. That entails, swapping everything, airbags, leaf springs, shocks, all that. Or we have the option of buying $1,000 to $1,100 worth of all new bearings, all new seals, and possibly a ring and pinion. Thing is both of them are about the same amount of money and the same amount of work.
I don't want to do either.
You can have it done quick.
That sucks because, like you say, the airbags, the ABS, all the brake lines, the shocks.
Yeah.
And hopefully the new used one we buy isn't shot like this. And I don't want to do gears, so like there's no option here that is good.
Tomorrow.
All right, so it took us about a day to figure out what we're going to do with this thing, but I think we've got it dialed. We can't get a setup kit, gears, and a carrier in time for this video to get this thing fixed.
And we don't really trust ourselves to set up a ring and a pinion in a vehicle that's going to be towing most of its life, because we're really not that smart anyways.
I second that notion for sure. So Brady got on the interwebs, because he's kind of our guy to find stuff that we need, and he found a rear end about 2.5 hours north. Typically these puppies cost like anywhere from $1,000 to $1,500. I think we're picking this thing up for like $650.
Yeah, something like that.
So it should be a pretty dang good deal. It's probably got like 850,000 miles, and it's been wrecked in the rear, but it's probably gonna work.
Anything's better than the one we got.
Said go to the back by the back garage door.
Oh, here's the guy. He's waving us forward. He's got us.
Oh, there it is.
Ah, that thing's clean.
That's gonna save our bacon. What's up?
Pull up behind that Jeep, so we're not blocking this road.
Okay, you told me to come this way, so.
No, I was saying go back there.
You gotta listen.
I know. It's not one of my strong points. This thing looks like it could have been off the Titanic.
Questioning our decisions.
Thing's roast. Just needs a good wash. I think it'll be fine.
You pay for it?
Oh yeah.
How's the pinion feel? Oh, a little bit of rocks in the rotor, but that was a little uneventful. I thought we were gonna be able to get a little bit more footage, but it was like one of the most in and out interactions I've ever had at a junkyard.
The cool thing about that place is one of the guys actually watches the channel that works there, and he put us front in line so we could get it today. So that kind of worked out good.
So shout out to Intermountain Auto Recycling for getting that puppy to us today.
So I just got 2 missed calls from the salvage yard, but that was 15 minutes ago, and now they're closed. And I'm kind of worried that we might have picked up the wrong axle, so we gotta check. I hope it has a tag on.
Why did we even stop? If it's the wrong one, they're closed. And they don't open till tomorrow.
Alex usually doesn't have good points, but
Yeah, that's a good point. So let's check. If this is I'm gonna lose it if this is the wrong one. That is our thing. It says Peck Brothers, so the question is it the right one? Did they put the right invoice on the right axle?
See if there's a plug-in for the box.
There is no tag on this one either, but there is a diff lock, so we might be good. Yeah, it was the right one. I just wanted to scare you guys.
Why did they call you?
I have no idea. Well, we'll call them back tomorrow during business hours. It can't be that important, I guess.
all right, I know what you guys are thinking. Why are you putting the same axle with the same amount of miles back in your truck? Is this one not gonna go bad? Well, I don't wanna hear it. Don't judge a book by its cover. This one actually has fluid in it, I think.
And hopefully it was just a mud hole that this guy hit, not its whole life being in the mines like our last one.
We've got to make this thing look like it's got less miles before it goes in the truck, because when you look good, you feel good, you know? So we're gonna take 50,000 miles off this puppy and wash it off and make it look awesome. And this is a perfect time to tell you about today's sponsor, Accor. Accor is the future in outdoor water systems. We installed their quick disconnect hydrant on Brady's house and we freaking love it. It's sick because regular hydrants up here in the cold, they can freeze and burst. But the way this Accor hydrant works is it keeps the water like backed up into the wall where it's warm and it can't ever have a problem freezing.
These hydrants are super clean looking and super simple. All you got to do to disconnect them is just twist and pull.
They also make the nicest hose I've ever used. They come with regular ends on them too, if you don't have one of these Accor hydrants yet. These things are 75% lighter than regular rubber hoses. They will not kink, and they're actually safe to drink from too.
Normal hoses freaking suck. The ends always leak, they always kink, you're always trying to find why the water's just dripping out. With these ones, I don't know what they're made of, but it's almost satisfying to use and satisfying to coil up because they coil up so nice. I wouldn't trade these things for anything.
We've been super impressed with all of the Aquar products we've used. If you guys want in on this stuff, go to aquarwatersystems.com and be sure to use code PECBrothers10 at checkout.
Thank you so much, Aquar, for supporting our channel and sponsoring today's video.
As we were pulling apart this thing, we realized that this passenger side axle seal is bad as well. So it's kind of nice that we did a whole new rear end, so we don't even have to mess with that. Knowing us, if we would have pulled that thing apart, we would have replaced everything, put all new bearings in, put it back together. It either would have grinded and made noise, or the axle seal would still have leaked.
Kind of sounds like you're referencing my Jeep. I put a new axle seal in the front end, and it leaks even worse than it did before. So we're going to leave that alone.
Yeah, we're not touching this new rear end at all.
I don't even think we should change the fluid.
We're asking a lot out of this rear end. We're going to do the new fluid for sure.
Well, now we're just hoping that we lift this truck up and it doesn't topple over forward because it's losing all this weight in the back. What does Brady get if this thing falls off the lift?
You'll get to see a Ford do a front flip.
Brady's pretty worried about this one.
I don't know about you guys, but a 9,000 pound truck up in the air that high kind of makes me nervous.
If our car lift was anything but a bend pack, I'd probably be a little bit more nervous.
This is what it's for.
The part that worries me is I put in the anchor bolt, so if something happens,
It's on you.
I'm liable.
I don't know what OSHA would say if they saw 9 of these. The problem is there's not a good place to put them because of our running boards. Like, it's got to be super stacked, but that is pretty sketchy now that you bring that up.
I don't know what the problem is.
Oh.
Hey, I think that's enough. Hey, we're good. That's all we need. While this thing's all tore apart, it's getting a new carrier bearing too. This thing's gonna drive like it's brand new.
Not only did it get a new carrier bearing, we did all new brakes, rotors, pads. So this thing's going to stop like it's new too.
Yeah, this truck, when we first got it, it had a pretty bad vibration as you went from 0
To 100.
to 100 in like
Floored.
3 seconds.
It was really bad too when you would just start the truck while the motor was cold. If you floor it, that was when it was really bad. That's not good. This is not good. Just kidding. Thing looks perfect. Other than that, that's the only...
Just cut that part out.
Yeah, I'll cut that out.
There's worse out there.
There's definitely worse.
We had worse.
And now it's better.
We were gonna reuse the old carrier if we were gonna fix the axle anyway, so this is better. And to be honest with you, if it's taking chunks out of it, it's kind of weight reduction, you know? We're losing a little bit of rotating mass. This puppy should be good to go, unless Alex forgot something. Which is a pretty highly likable.
Highly unchance.
Highly...
He's not that likable.
No, not likable. Highly likely. There we go. I don't know what that's all about. Anyway, this thing should be good to go. The rear end's in. It's full of new fluid. The whole truck's got a new brake job, new carrier bearing, new water temp sensor. We went through and made this puppy. This has got some updates now. If this rear end don't make any noise, I'd be willing to drive this thing clear to Tennessee.
The true test is to put everything we had behind it, like we did last week, and see if this one holds up.
That is the true test, but we're not scientific here. It sounded terrible with no trailer on it. So, I mean, if it sounds good, empty, I'm sure it's good.
Well, we've got traction control, ABS, and the brake light.
Oh,
That's not that bad.
so all we did was make a Christmas tree out of the dash.
Pretty much.
It's just like our other trucks now, though.
The problem is this truck went into the shop with 0 lights, so...
I feel, does this one have bulbs that we could just pull out? Or is this whole like a screen?
Just have to unplug it.
Typically, I like to just pull the bulbs out.
Oh, dude,
They came off.
No way.
Yep.
It just took like 3 rotations of the tire.
How come that never happens in my truck?
It's a Ford.
Well, my truck's a Ford. Flip. That's freaking excellent.
That is awesome.
Dude, that's like silent.
It did
This seems-
really bad when I let off the gas. So,
Oh, that's butter.
dude, it's perfect.
It's perfect.
I was really nervous. We were gonna throw a rear end in here. The transfer case was still gonna be loud.
Oh, me
Dude,
too.
it's silent though.
It so easily could have been the transfer case.
But
Dude,
there's something.
that carrier bearing made a difference too.
Yeah, it's smooth.
We're gonna hop in the bed because that's how we figured out what it was. See if we can hear it.
All right, Crumb, let's go. All right, I'm hearing a little bit of like maybe that brake rotor's hitting the cover. Now it's stopped. I think we're dialed.
Sounds good.
It sounds pretty quiet. All I can hear is tires. Dude, let's freaking go. Let's go.